it over. Do it over.
Welcome to the Maven Movement, a safe space for Black women to express their feelings and their opinions shamelessly, because we've got something to say.
I like that one.
Well, today I'm joined by four amigos because I'm in my mariachi shirt. And first in on the ukulele with the pink hair is Shauna Dawn.
I didn't know I knew how to play the ukulele.
Yes.
The ukulele.
Second on the harmonica, we got Evie.
Sit on the harmonica.
Next up on the banjo, my Sagittarius sister. Last but not least.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Yeah, we're not even serious right now. This is serious.
Okay, last but not least, on the percussions, Joe, Lovey. Let's get into it. All right. We were just talking about relationships. We're going to start off with one that is very much in the public eye. Jada Pinkett Smith and her red table talk. She's talking a little too much for Will's taste, in my opinion. But Jada admitted that it's hard to maintain her sex life with her husband, Will Smith. Big Willie style, Fresh Prince. After he had revealed that they had an open marriage. It's uncomfortable, but it's healthy, she said. Speaking on her Facebook Live series, Red Table Talk with guest Gwyneth Paltrow, Jada said, the thing Will and I talk about a lot is the journey. We started in this at a very young age, 22 years old. She said, it's like, well, if you love me, you should know. If you love me, you should read my mind. That's a huge pitfall. Gwyneth, who was a guest on the show to discuss her new Netflix series, Sex, Love, and Goop, added, isn't it weird though? It's like someone doesn't read your mind and we feel crushed. Jada, who married Will in 1997, added that she really tries to communicate with Will about their sex life. Last month, Will alluded to the fact that he and Jada are in an open marriage. Jada never believed in conventional marriage. Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship, Will Smith told GQ. So, ladies, how do you feel about Jada Pinkett Smith's need to constantly remind us that she struggles to, quote unquote, love her husband? And I don't want to say love her husband, but more so, she struggles with trying to find new ways to keep it spicy. That's how I interpret what she's saying.
Right, because she isn't saying that she needs to find to how to love him. What she's saying is how they connect in the romance sexual area. That's more what she was saying, not that she is struggling to love him. She didn't say that she's struggling. It's their sex life, which is understandable, especially for how many years they've been married.
Yeah, they've been married for 20 something. Well, she got married a year before I did, so they've been married for 22 years. Well, I know for me, as I get older, my body is changing. So it's important for me to tell my husband what changes are going through my body. So I'm gonna reveal a little something about me where when we got married, I was like 21 and my neck was my spot. You blow on my neck, I'm hot and heavy. Now you blow on my neck, that's a problem. It ain't nothing happening with that. And he kept messing with my neck over the years, and I had to reveal to him, like, yeah, that ain't working no more. So the older you get as a woman, the more you got to communicate with your partner on what's working for you, what's not working for you. Going back to Jada, first of all, I want to give them kudos because I know more about them than I know about myself when it comes out of the damn bedroom. Shoot. We hear about the entanglements and all kind of stuff. But you know, when she opened up herself to the Red Table Talk show, you know, she became vulnerable to us. So that I think that topic is actually excellent for a lot of women because a lot of times, and you and Kaya, we've had talks about this where women don't know how to express to their husbands or their partners how they're feeling in the bed. You know, men think that, you know, when we moan and groan, that means that we're happy. That doesn't mean that we're, we're happy, I guess, in a certain sense, but doesn't mean that we're, what's the word? Can I use come? Doesn't mean that we're coming.
Satisfied.
Satisfied, I like that, satisfied. Doesn't mean that we're
word.
satisfied.
Great
Doesn't mean
word.
we're satisfied.
That's right.
So it's really important for women, whether they're 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 80 years old, to communicate with their partner on what works for them, what doesn't work for them, point blank.
But I think sometimes we don't speak up and we'll put our satisfaction on the backside to make sure we don't
massage the ego.
Don't hurt his ego. I mean, we've seen it in like movies and the TV shows, like waiting to exhale and they're like, she's like, woo! And it's just like,
I know it's good. I know
it's good. And she's like, oh yeah. And it's just like, no,
yeah, right, buddy.
So I think that we need to find a way to express the needs that make us feel good and make him not feel terrible. And I think with men, sometimes they forget we give birth like 9-pound babies, 7-pound babies, like come out of this area. Like you're really not doing but so much in that area. I'm sorry. Just saying.
I wasn't prepared.
All right now.
This is a lot.
Yvette got the all right.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, because I was thinking about this topic earlier. You know I'll be coming from a different angle. I'm gonna let you know one thing. If I was single like Yvette, and I was dating, let's say I was dating the guy that owns Amazon. What's his name?
Jeff
Bezos.
When he stepped down.
Well, if I was dating that dude,
Jeff Bezos.
and he was not satisfying me in the bed, I'm gonna make him feel like he satisfied me. Yes, I am. He gonna walk out of there feeling like a king.
I laid it down.
He would not come out of there feeling like a failure.
Okay, but here's the question. But also I have a question for you. So I have a question for you. And
Yeah.
you've never done that with your husband?
Oh, that's different. That's different.
Why?
Because that's my husband, like me. But I'm saying, no, what I'm saying is,
But it's the same thing. You made him think he was doing something, and you're gonna let Jeff Bezos think he's doing something, which is something that I think that women technically do on a regular basis. Is they're not as open and as honest as they should be. For me, I teeter because I can tell you what to do and how to do it and how I like it. It's just for my partner to pay attention to me.
True.
Exactly.
And the problem in that is most of the times men are thinking that, yeah, that's what she's saying, but I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Not realizing that you don't know my body the way I know my body. You don't know the angles and spots. You don't know the angles and spots and how I need you to give it to me the way I need you to give it to me. You know, men have this notion because we're quote unquote receivers and they're givers, that they know everything in the giving department.
And they don't.
Not realizing that me as the receiver, I know how I need to receive it. Just remember, I can have 10 orgasms to your one.
One, right.
So if you give me what I need, how I tell you I need you to give it to me. If I tell you to slow down the pace, I need you to slow down the pace. If I tell you to speed up the pace, I need you to speed up the pace. If I tell you to give it to me harder, it's because that spot you just got, that friction is what you're hitting it. And I need you to stay in that flow. Don't switch it up, stay right there. You can tell them, stay right there, and they still think that they know what they're doing.
Right.
So a lot of times,
and then ruin your whole high.
Right. And it's like, but I told you. You can't say I didn't tell you. I did tell you. You just chose not to listen to what I said.
Right.
Because you feel and you know, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, you do know what you're doing, but you're not doing what I need you to do for me.
Right.
Because I know what I need. One thing I'm going to do when I ask you how you want it, I'm going to give it to you how you want it. If you tell me go on my side, I'm going on my side. If you tell me to get on my knees, I'm getting on my knees. Any way you tell me to do it, I'm making sure that I'm giving, because I know that you need it to get it at that angle. We feel the same way.
Right.
And
Hello, man. Hello.
One thing I will say,
they know that though.
One thing I will say, a lot of women think too, because it goes both ways. Because a lot of women think just because a man came, he enjoyed the sex. And that's not necessarily true.
But I'll be honest with you, for men, they want to nut.
True.
They want to nut.
That's the goal. Like that's the end goal.
Most of the time that happens. 99% of the time that happens.
Here's the thing with them. They nut and we can't get them right back up.
Yeah.
I can come and I'm still ready for another round. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is there's times where we think that because they came, that they enjoyed it.
But you don't understand, but the thing about it is, for them, even if they stroke us for 5 minutes and they nut, they still got that release of that nut.
They did.
You get the point that I'm making, and and men don't understand that that's not how it works for us. Like I don't have to have a pour down the rain to enjoy the sex either. I can enjoy this. I can enjoy it without getting there also.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't have to necessarily come.
You get what I'm saying? Like I can enjoy it, and you could be on it for an hour, and I'm still enjoying it without finally getting to that climax.
Because it's known that women, we have a hard time. We have a harder time coming, depending on our body.
And this is why men need to listen to our cues, because if I tell you what I want, how I want it, how you need to do it,
So that begs the question.
Listen.
Tell them what they want.
So that begs the question, though. If you're in a relationship for 20 years, 20 plus years, 10 plus years, and you're literally doing, there's but so many positions that you can try out before you cripple yourself. But
crippled.
Like, ooh, my back.
Crippled.
Come on, disability. But
ADA.
There's only so many positions that you have or you can try before you're just like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to start back from zero. And maybe this is what Jada is trying to convey. And people just think that she's
and I do believe that's what it is. I do believe, because a lot of times you get so accustomed to a certain rhythm that we stick to that rhythm. And that rhythm can be boring for you, but for your partner, that rhythm is still a good rhythm for them. And for her, her struggle could possibly be that Will likes it this way, and Will always reverts back to this. Even if they start off in one way, Will always reverts back to that way. And a lot of times men don't want to hear,
You know,
they don't want to have that conversation that, dude, like, I get that you like that, and I'll give it to you, but I need you to do this too.
Something else.
So,
Yeah,
so the question is,
Right.
do you feel that you can, because maybe she does not feel, Jada, you know, she doesn't feel like having the same penis over and over again for the rest
and
of
that
her
can
life.
be, and that can very well be it as well.
Mhm.
Maybe the
Absolutely.
excitement of New D is true T. You know what I'm saying?
Don't men have the excitement of new
Yeah.
JJ,
New P, yes. New P.
right? You know, the first time you hear it all the time, girl. What do women always say? Either it was good or that nigga was whack.
But be like, ooh.
And it's so funny because if men really heard the conversations that we
Yeah.
had,
No,
like,
me and
I would. Go ahead. I would wish that.
Marky,
like,
you
when
gotta
we
give
have-
us that 20-year-old talk. Come on
Yeah,
now.
but like when
Me
we
and my
He's
best-
about to be 30. Ain't no 20-year-old
That's
talking.
That's 28-year-old talk.
Conversations, when we sit down and have our conversation, at least be talking about it. I really wish men would be in the room and really
could
pay
really
attention to our
Here,
conversation.
just
But
like,
they would have to
hear
be
what we're
able to
talking about.
hear without getting in their
Feeling
feelings.
attacked.
yes.
You know, it'd be hot if, you know how like in the Olympics at the end when they had like the they put up the sign like it was a 9.5 or a imagine.
Can you rate your partner after every session? This was a 10.
Be like,
Yeah, 7.5.
But
Me
you
and-
know what?
No, my friend, we always do like, that was a waste of juice. We always a waste of juice. Could have
Okay,
saved it.
but Yvette, let me ask you. Oh, see, this is the thing. Have you ever communicated to any of these guys, like a guy that you got with, and it was wasted juice? Did you let him know that, dude? Like,
No,
it was wasted.
No, he asked me if his size was good enough for me. And I was just like, I mean, it's your size. There's nothing that you could do about it anyway. So,
but I don't think.
That was probably worse than you said. Nah, it wasn't.
But then here's another question. But here's another question. Is the size really an issue?
it's not really, it's because of the fact that he set size. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me if your size is good enough for me, I'm like, I prefer it's.
So he instead of him saying, "How was my performance?" he went directly to the side. Which he should have said,
Yeah, because
"Performance."
my thing is, you could be what's his name? Mandingo, and your sex is whack.
Right.
So so size isn't like, I don't know why guys get caught up in the size. It's
They
the
watch too
motion.
much porno.
It's the motion.
Right.
How the song go?
It's the motion in the
There's
ocean.
there are some men that don't watch porno.
He must not watch porno because it doesn't.
But even if he is a certain size, again, a woman have a full-grown human being passing through. You ain't hitting nothing.
Listen, right?
That's
If
not
size,
that.
if
Sorry.
size, right? If size was an
Hello.
issue, if size really was an issue, there is no man on earth that can satisfy any of us.
Exactly. That's why I'm just like,
Got a
stop
point.
it.
You had
Got a point.
especially for those of us that had vaginal births.
Yes.
Well, I haven't had
Of
any
a
of that
10-pound
yet.
baby. Of a
Ain't no
10-pound
man
baby.
on earth can satisfy me through my vagina.
Yeah, you know, there's foreplay, there's
Yes.
drum play, there's a lot that goes along with sex. A lot of men just think it's licking their hand, getting it wet with their finger, and then
Let me
sticking
say
it in,
something. Let
and
me
it's
say
the
something.
job done.
All of that, that hawk spitting. What now we call it a loogie?
And then he had spit that wild loogie into his hand. That was
That
we call it a
joint.
loogie.
That's what we need Noe for.
Really? No, it's
Yes. Listen, that joint is not hot. It's just not. It's not a turn on. It's a turn off.
It is, because I'm like wondering, what did you eat for lunch that's gonna cause
You
me
know,
to
see,
cause me to
so-
get a yeast infection?
Okay,
So
so
you had
how
put a
so how-
loogie down there.
but no, because it's crazy. Oh God, how deep do we want to get into this? Because
That's
some
Here
men
we
like,
go deep.
because some men like for you to spit on their penis. Okay, me
Sure do.
spitting on your penis is not the same as you thinking that that's lubrication that I need and want. It's
now whatever
different.
gets the job done. Okay?
But
Don't nobody want no loogie. Don't nobody want no loogie.
Whatever gets the
My
job
vagina.
done.
Stop.
I would much prefer
Come
for
here.
you to spend more time on foreplay and making me wet than you spitting on it because you're ready to slide it in.
Yes.
Because that's all it
Now-
boils down to. You're spitting on it because you just want to slide it in. Like you don't want to put no effort, no time, because again, you just want a nut.
right.
You want a nut.
But
So you
now-
spitting on my vagina to get it wet because you don't want to take the time to have
Get it.
foreplay.
This should
Like,
this should be
dude.
this should be the
Hello?
show in itself.
Listen.
I know.
Doing this to my nipples and then going,
Yes.
It's
That's
not
right.
working. It's not working. But
No,
I think
no.
if men understood that sex does start from here too,
Yes.
it's not just these,
And just
it's not
and
just
also
these.
have
It
a
starts here.
have a conversation before. Like, what do you like? Do you like this? Are you into this? Are you into communicate before you even
that doesn't always work. That
Right.
doesn't always work.
Sometimes you don't know what you like until you
Until it
actually
happens.
experience it.
True.
Right. True.
I'm talking about
Somebody,
It depends on who's doing it. So like my neck was my thing, but it depends on who the person was.
right. That's true. And
They
I
just
love
might have
these
been
things.
crusty touching my neck, like,
yeah.
But
Did you put chapstick on your lips?
sometimes you gotta realize that what I liked at 21.
I
Well,
actually
I
had
like
this
now.
conversation. I actually
I'm
had this
grown now.
conversation with my spouse a few months ago because
Okay.
he loves to bring up how just overly adventurous I was when I was in a young gipper gapper. You know what I'm saying?
My last one told me I must be popping Molly. He's just like, you pop Molly before you get What's wrong with you?
Listen, there was a time when I was Janet Jackson. Anytime, any place. I don't care who's around. It could have happened. It could have went down any and everywhere. It was, it wasn't even a question. But now,
You're a grown ass woman.
yeah, and now cameras is everywhere.
That's
That's true.
Back then, MySpace
End
wasn't
up
even
on
hitting like that.
Or what?
Nah,
Yeah,
B.
scandal.
And on top of that, I got fibromyalgia.
Ended up on World Star.
World Star. All
That's
you
not
hear in
gonna
the-
happen. But back then, it was different, and how I felt and what I did and what I liked was different. Like you were saying, Keish, as opposed to now.
Right.
Now I'm a whole full-grown woman, and
Yeah.
I want to do full-grown woman things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it doesn't mean that I'm not into you, or I don't like the same things that I used to. It's just me. I don't like them as much now. How about we graduate?
Yeah.
From now we're up in the big leagues,
Because like, I don't know, I guess when I was younger, it was assumed that just grabbing his own nuts made me horny. Because now that don't even like, like that. You ready? Like what? And then you rubbing.
So,
And you nuts, and that's foreplay. Like, no.
but it makes you wonder when they say that women of a certain age tend to gravitate to younger men.
Right.
Is that that whole cougar concept?
Jada and August.
Right. So
can you imagine? Wait, hold that thought. Can you imagine what Jada was doing with that little boy?
Well, here's the thing. Can you imagine what that little boy might have been doing with Jada?
Remember, Jada weighs like 100 pounds. So
he was flipping hard.
According to this guy, he says Jada looks like a 10-year-old little boy.
And maybe Will has the same problem that every dude his age has, thinking that what you was doing, and dude, I need you to come out of the Shaft book of Foreplay and get into something that's a little more romantic, more and don't get me wrong, I'm sure Jada still likes her back to be blown out, but to get there, I don't just want you to just be like.
Okay, I'm raising my hand because Jada and I are the same age, and
oh father, she just
we still want our backs to be blown out. we still want our backs to be blown out. It didn't go away. We still want our backs to be blown out.
How often?
Good question.
I'm actually embarrassed to say how often.
But
let's just put it,
don't they say
don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
They say when a woman gets 40,
yeah,
turns 40,
I was just about to say, like have a
sex drive,
her sex
drive be like through the roof. And it's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Even with our aches and pains, we still be wanting to go the distance. You take the pain. You suck that sucker up. Your knees be cramping, but that's okay. Ain't nothing Voltaren can't handle after the fact.
See, what you have to do is you have to keep cryoderm.
Okay, was that an advertisement for cryoderm?
You got to keep.
Look, I said Voltaren.
Let me tell y'all real quick. When I was thinking about this topic, I reverted back to when I was in high school. And if you're watching this, darling, I'm giving you your kudos. My girlfriend, we were either in junior or senior. We were either juniors or seniors in high school. And my girl did not play. She was letting dudes know at that young age whether they was doing the right thing or not. And she told me this one story how she was doing the doggy style. And he came and he got up and he buttoned up his pants and she still was in doggy style position. And he said, "Is everything okay?" She said, "No. I didn't come." He said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" She said, "You better get to licking." And that dude got on his knees and got to licking. And she was only a junior or senior in high school. And if you watching this, you know who you are. Top 5 TV says, "God bless you." She was telling them back.
God bless you.
Remember when you was at, listen, I ain't telling when I started, but I was in that boat to tell somebody.
So do you think that Will is embarrassed because the way people are dragging him and making memes about him?
He just said that his first marriage, he said that he fell in love with Stockard Channing.
With who?
Stockard Channing.
She
doesn't know. She doesn't know who Stockard Channing is. So let's let her know. Rizzo from Greece.
Yes.
Okay. So he was in love with her.
He was
the original.
Huh?
The original Greece.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about the movie version with John
Talking about the
Travolta.
movie
You know whose fault this all is?
Who?
That we even have to talk. August Alsina.
Yeah.
No, it's not
Because she was not talking about this before August. I'm sorry.
But you know what? I know. Here's the thing. For years, people have always alluded to the fact that
That they
their
were in an open
marriage,
marriage.
that they were with other people.
Other people.
And
right.
they
People have
never
always-
confirmed or
We're
denied.
talking about that.
They never confirmed and they
Right.
never denied.
Denied it.
Yeah.
Remember when he was making what's the movie? Oh my gosh, with
With Eva Mendes.
Eva Mendes, and people were
Hitch.
making comments that he was with Eva Mendes.
Hitch.
Hitch. It was, I was saying snitch. And I've seen the movie a gazillion
That's what
times.
they did. They snitched.
It's only because Allegra, the model who played Allegra, I have a thing for her. But anyway, when they did that movie, who knows? Maybe something was happening between them. Maybe, maybe Will and her did have something. I don't know what year, what part of their marriage they decided to, allow one another, allow one another to,
Be happy, as they say.
do whatever makes them happy.
Right.
For some
Do you
people, I
think
guess.
that you think that they came to that conclusion because of the fact that they have money? Because I remember Monique, the comedian, also said that she had positioned her Big Daddy or Daddy or whatever she calls him.
He's just daddy.
Daddy, excuse me, for her to be able to,
Explore.
Yeah.
It's so
I
it's
anybody that I commend anybody, any relationship that's open like that. I mean, I personally couldn't do that, but I commend any relationship where both sides are satisfied with the other one being with someone else and vice versa.
But here's the thing. I'm sure it's hard. Even if, if you're in it, I'm sure it's still hard because it's always that question of how far will they go with that person? But you guys, listen, we talk about this all the time. How many people are actually in those types of relationships, but they just don't say that they are?
Right.
Right.
When the whole situation came up with August Alsina, Will was open and he did say that there was a lot of things that he has done throughout the years in their marriage
Yes.
that she had to check him on.
Right.
And I totally understand that because there is a lot of things that throughout the years that I have checked the man that I'm married to, where he gets so defensive. And it's not about you getting defensive. It's more about you listening to what your partner's saying, and just try to be more cognizant of what they're saying. Like when Will made the comment about the party for Jada that he took 3 years to plan.
The plan, right? Yeah.
And she told him that was the most selfish,
self-centered,
self-centered thing
that
you've ever done. And I will be honest with you, I totally understood where she was coming, why she said it, because I too have said things of that nature. Don't give me what you want to give me.
Right.
Don't give it to me how you want to give it to me. If I tell you that I want a long stem red rose, don't buy me a dozen roses.
Right.
There's a reason why I asked you for one long stem rose. And don't think that, but I gave you a dozen, it's better.
Right.
No, you gave me what you wanted me to have, and you think that I'm supposed to be appreciative of it. It goes back to men picking up on the cues that their women give to them. Men are quick to say that my woman don't listen to me, my woman don't listen to me. That's always the excuse for them going outside.
Never satisfied.
Right? That's always a man's excuse for going outside of his relationship. But do you know that men are just as guilty?
Yeah.
Y'all don't pay attention to the cues that your woman gives to you. And if she did the same thing that you did, if she uses the same excuse that you use, she'll be everything but a child of God. So if that's what worked for the Smiths, without them having to go through either of them being selfish.
Mhm.
And if they can work through that and, be free to do things that make them happy in a respectful manner. Because if you saw someone that caught your eye, according to how their relationship allegedly is, they should be able to have that conversation to say, hey,
Right.
I just saw, Sean Paul, and I actually think Sean Paul and I have a connection. And, I would like to see where that can go. And if that's what they're doing, who are we to judge? If that's what works for them.
Absolutely right.
What did Will say?
What
Will
works
said
for them?
Will said he had an idea of having a harem.
Yeah.
He named Misty Copeland. And who was the other person that was supposed to be that he would have loved to have as a part of his harem? But that isn't funny and it isn't strange, because how many other religions we know that it is permissible?
Allow like more than one wife. Right.
In Islam, it's permissible.
Right.
He can afford to take care of each of those wives.
True.
You understand?
True.
Israelites, they do it. Hello.
Shut up. Shut your mouth.
Right?
I commend them though.
That's why we're here.
I couldn't be in my bed sleeping knowing
China,
he
that's why you're
doing
here,
some-
right?
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
I would rip somebody to shreds if I knew that he was blowing someone else's back out. I just teach
But it's not for everybody.
But
That's
what
what
if
works for them.
For
Okay,
me.
but what if
That's works for
it's the
them.
thing that your husband isn't satisfying you, and to no avail, no matter how much you communicate this to him, and you brought it to him that, you know what, I would like to, explore. You don't think that you could?
You guys will be getting the invitation to my funeral.
We'll get the flyer.
I guess for them,
You get a
I
text.
guess
You
for
should
them,
be
it's
funeral.
not,
We'll get the Facebook post.
if that's their thing, then they're not cheating.
Right. Because
And then
that's
people
their
would
thing.
say, then why are they married? Well, there's more to marriage than that also.
Right. True.
That's a fact.
And I think with all the naysayers that have something, that's bashing and people is dragging Will and saying, if this was been working for them and
If
they're
they're
not
happy,
cheating, that's just like an article came out that Cynthia Bailey's husband has been cheating on her the entire time
right.
they've been
They've been
together. And they showed on the show that he has a ton of female friends. Some of them he may have already dated once upon a time. So now she don't have to worry about her husband cheating because they have an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I give him props. They seem like people with a lot of money though. They able
Yeah.
to.
When you have money
Poor
like
people-
that,
Well,
it's easy.
I was gonna say,
I
people
just
in the
said
hood.
Poor
We do the
people are
Foreplay.
doing it. There's 1,000 people we know that is with somebody else. The wife knows her husband the wife know her husband is messing with Trixie, and Trixie know that he got a wife, and that's just what it is. We've had this conversation before about
Having
men and their
money.
other families.
But
It's
you
the
know
same
what?
thing.
But it's easier for women to digest when you're being financially taken care of. When you don't have to worry about things and you can go shop when you want to. And as Shorty said, in A Family That Prays, while he was doing his thing, I was having a few trysts myself.
When he was going to the Mayhew, when he was going to the
Room number
Mayhew,
309 or whatever the room number was, she said she was doing a few
I was
things
having
herself.
a few of my own.
So it's easier for you to digest. But when y'all broke together and you got to check into the shelter by 9,
not the Mayhew.
Hey, this dude said, I'll be back. Put the garbage bags by the cot. I'll be right back.
and you know that we got to be at this shelter by 9 so that we can get the cot that we like. It's a little different
It's different, yeah.
to deal with. I just think when you have a different understanding, and you can go on Rodeo Drive when you want to, or Fifth Avenue when you want to, and shop. And you have all of the finer things. You can go on vacation, but when you got to go and hustle and bustle and go take the
Yeah.
train to work to pay these bills and take care of the kids, pick up the kids,
16
And the
hours,
B12 and the grocery
It's a
12
little
hours a
different.
day, and it's
Yeah,
different.
man, you go out there have a good old time, and I'm here struggling over here.
It's different.
It's different.
So
when you
Monique
work
can
16
suggest that.
hours a day.
Exactly.
It's
But
totally
you
different.
know what? Jada and Will got a compound.
Yep.
They don't even have
Or
to see
lake.
each other if they don't want to,
Nope.
because they house so big.
Yep.
But it's all about what you're willing to deal with.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I tell everybody when it comes
What
to
works for you is that's
fun.
what works.
whatever you're willing to deal with.
Whatever is.
Yeah. I don't have any, I have no judgment. If
At
and
all.
Will said it that they don't suggest it for
For
anybody.
everybody, right?
And
It's
I'm
not for
sure-
everybody.
And I'm sure there's a ton of other relationships
Mhm.
that you know, we'll probably be surprised to hear that they've been operating the same way
Same way, yeah.
Oh yeah.
for many
Oh, yeah.
years.
True.
But if you like this video, be sure to stick around and check out our other content. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click that bell button so you'll receive notifications whenever we put out a new video.
Stay tuned for part 2 of Between Sisters.
What if you do have an 800 credit score?
That's
There
good.
go Bougie Couture. Yeah.
Wait,
There go
You see how black? Do